Here with Taysha Rushton to preview the 2022-23 Concordia women's basketball season. As we record this, about a couple weeks into official practice, and maybe three weeks or so from the first official game. This is year 3 for you in the program. Coming from Texas, what have you enjoyed most about life in Nebraska?
Definitely not the cold weather.
Probably. It's been nice lately.
Yeah. Probably just like the community atmosphere here, like Concordia. I've met a lot of probably my lifelong friends here, which are my teammates. So probably just the community.
What is it that first drew you to Concordia from your hometown of Midland, Texas?
Well, I knew I wanted to go far away from Texas, and this was probably the best school that was recruiting me that was far away from home. So it was a good program and it was far away, so it fit what I wanted.
And I assume you got a chance to visit while you were being recruited. What were some of your impressions at that time?
Yeah, I visited and I got to play with the team. I think that was my junior year in high school. And I really liked the girls. It just seemed like fun. I practiced with them and it just seemed like a fun atmosphere. And I liked the way Coach Wilson coached.
How about this? This is a tough one. What's the biggest advantage maybe Nebraska has over Texas, and what's the biggest thing Texas has over Nebraska?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Whether it's food or I don't know, just things to do.
Yeah, probably Texas has an advantage of things to do. Well, like I do live in Seward, there's not much to do here. I don't know an advantage Nebraska has.
The people, the community.
Yeah, the people.
Small
town.
What's the sport or the team that you grew up following the most then? Like the Dallas Cowboys or
No,
anything
I'm
like
actually originally from Washington.
Okay.
So, like my dad and brothers, they always loved the Seahawks or the Mariners baseball team.
So that's who you root for then?
I guess.
You don't really have a team.
I don't have a team
okay.
I care for a whole lot. Besides Texas Tech men's basketball, I do really root for them.
Okay.
My favorite team.
Maybe Bob Knight was the coach when you were little. I don't know.
He
that
was
was
when
too
I was
long
little,
ago.
but when I watched him, it was Chris Beard.
Okay. Yeah. Who or what was the biggest influence on you becoming a basketball player?
I say my brother. I always looked up to him. I always wanted to be him. When I was growing up, he played basketball and he played 4 years in college too. And so he was like one of my biggest, I guess you could say, inspiration, or who like I looked up to the most.
Where'd your brother play at?
He played at Mount Hood Community College for 2 years, and then went and played at Evergreen.
Okay.
And up in Washington for his last 2.
You both wanted to get away a little bit. So when you got here, you were kind of thrown into the mix right away as a starter. What were the main things kind of you had to learn or adjust to be successful as a freshman?
I think I had to learn leadership like pretty early on in like my role, because I had a really great leader that I could look up to, Taylor Cockrell. And so just learning how to lead while being young, so it was mainly just like lead by example, because I still didn't have the upperclassmen like experiences.
I actually was going to ask too that how Taylor Cockrell kind of helped you make that transition. Was there anything else besides kind of the leadership that she showed?
I think just like her hard work, like I saw how hard she worked every day, and she accomplished a lot of goals that I want to accomplish, so just looking up to that work ethic.
Well, I think you've been a well-rounded player, both offensively, defensively. Is there something that you were focusing on this off-season, though, to really get better at?
I would say I was focusing on my shot a lot, just like always can improve. And then another thing, it also goes back to like leadership. Now that I am an upperclassman, I'm stepping up into like a more responsible leadership role. So just kind of like the little things within that.
Is there a certain number of shots you have to get up when you go to the gym? I mean, how do you work? How does that work?
I'm not like a math statistical person, so I don't like track like I have to make this many a day, which works for some people, but for me, like if I get in the gym and I think it's a good quality workout and I got better, then I feel successful for that day.
As I mentioned, you've had at least a couple weeks of practice. As far as you can judge so far, what are maybe some areas you see that this team growing from what we saw at the end of last season?
I think just our dedication overall. Like last season, we had a lot of tough losses within like the 7-point range that we just couldn't get over the hump and win. But this year, like we're all very committed to each other and we love what we're doing, and practices have been fun, but we have been getting better. So I think just like the dedication that this team has and how bad we want to win and want to see each other succeed.
Kind of along those lines, what do you feel like is the biggest key in terms of making this a successful season? Maybe it's some of that team chemistry and togetherness that you're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely feel like togetherness. I'm a big believer of like team chemistry can really get you over the hump and help you win games, even that you maybe shouldn't win. So just stuff like that, like loving each other, loving our teammates. Like I'm playing with my best friends, so it's fun.
You could go back to your freshman year again. You got to experience the final site of the national tournament in Sioux City. Had a big win over Marion at that season. What was most memorable about that experience?
I think just like winning together, like coming together and beating that top-ranked team. Like it was so much fun, and that's like what drives. I think like how far we want to get this year is just like we want to get back to that platform.
We're almost to the end here. With name, image, and likeness being a major topic of discussion in college athletics, I wanted to ask, is there a brand, a company, or a product that you would want to be promoting if you had a chance to choose?
I mean, I would probably say Nike just because it's like the most known. I wear a lot of their basketball shoes, so probably Nike.
Right, we're gonna work on getting you a shoe contract or something
I wish.
with Nike. Yeah. Yep.